Hey, what's up guys? Thank you for clicking on the video. Excuse my voice, I've been a little bit under the weather, but usually when I start to get sick, what I'll do is I'll just tell myself that I don't have enough time to get sick, and I'll just keep on going and everything always works itself out. At least that's what I convince myself of. So what I wanted to do with this video is make it a little bit informative. With all these full day eating videos, like I've said, they get a little bit repetitive in my opinion. So what I try to do is make them each different. So I figured by doing a little bit more of an informative type of video, maybe it will help you guys and help switch things up as well. So what I want to do is kind of go over how to set up a successful diet and how to lose weight at what I would consider the right way. I see a lot of people do it either way too quick or they just don't do it at all and they end up giving up. So really, I mean, I hate to say it like this, but it's not rocket science, right? You know, it's being in a caloric deficit, but there are ways to make it a little bit easier. So the first tip I want to give you is fueling your performance first. And what I mean by that is, you know, you're going to have a very limited amount of macros, so you don't have as much room to play with. So a lot of people like to disperse them in different ways, but I would say make the number one priority fueling your workouts, because if your performance starts to suffer, everything else is going to go downhill. So if you need a lot of carbs before a workout, even if you don't have a lot to take in throughout the day, do that, and then maybe you won't be able to eat any carbs afterwards. Or if you don't need any at all, that's fine, but just do what works for you. And it's all about trial and error. You guys have seen I eat the same thing pre-workout every single day on the weekends, and you guys have seen that for 2 years. So I'm gonna have my puff wheat cereal, poverty milk, apple, banana, and that's what will sit well in my system. I won't get too full. I won't be too hungry throughout the workout. And then since I know that that's what works for me, I'll come back and I'll worry about the rest of the food later. So I'm gonna do that, and then we'll be off to the gym. I get a ton of Snapchats from people asking where I get the puff kamut or the puff wheat. Honestly, I just get it online. You can get it on Amazon, Vitacost. They don't sell it in any store near me, so I found it just easier to buy it there.
Summertime, so the vibe is right. Crank the bass and dim down the lights. Don't know about you, but we came here to get down tonight.
Something else I've become pretty reliant on are BCAAs during my workouts. Not only do they keep me full, but also it's just something that tastes good. It kind of triggers my mind into thinking that I'm not as hungry as I probably really am, especially on workouts like today, where it's a long workout, squat, bench, and deadlifts. It usually takes me like an hour and a half, and then sometimes I will do cardio. Maybe I will do a few minutes of cardio afterwards if I'm able to do so, if I'm not completely dead. When it's never fun when I do that, but this definitely helps out. Everyone asked me my favorite flavor, mango splash. So good, tastes like a sun kiss.
Celebrate it, quick vacation. All year we've been steady waiting.
I know I usually wait to the end of the video to say this, but if you're taking the time out of your busy day right now to watch this video, thank you, that's incredible.
Now the sun is high in the sky, let's live it up, 'cause we got the time. I'ma cruise by your spot round 8. Nah, girl, I ain't gonna be late. They told me to take it slow, but honestly, I couldn't wait. Hit the city, maybe hit the cap, hit the coast and then bring it back. One thing that you gotta know, you're way too pretty to sleep alone.
Freaking dead.
Now, baby, we ain't going home alone. You're way too pretty to sleep alone. Now, baby, we ain't going home alone.
How's it going, man?
Good, how are you?
Good, I just want a regular wash, please.
Okay, that'll be $9. Nice rig.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Do you watch Casey Neistat?
You're way too pretty to sleep alone. Now, baby, we ain't going home alone. You're way too pretty to sleep alone. Now, baby, we ain't going home alone. See the green that's in your eyes, only green I need to get high. Got me feeling like I'm the man. Know my story, you understand. This music only a part of me.
Irrelevant story for the video, I did not have time to pick up my dry cleaning last Saturday, so this past week I had to wear like older shirts that no one cares.
Love because you want all of me. Love because you know what I was, so you know of all I could be.
As weird as it may sound, whole eggs have been like my saving grace on this diet. And I know it's no like secret food, but I just love them. I love the way they taste. I love that they're cheap. It's like one of the few foods that I've been buying that does not cost a ton of money. All the other high volume food gets pretty expensive. And just for me, I like that there's no trace carbs and then I can use my carbs for something else, typically fruits and vegetables. But I don't know, I've just been loving them. Hopefully those eggs will hold me over for an hour or two. I feel much better now that I got that little bit of food in my system. I actually feel like I'm a living person. So the next tip I'm gonna give you is don't eat if you're not hungry. So I came home and I had some food because I was starving, but now I have a little bit more food I want to get to, but I'm not that hungry. And what I mean by hungry is actual hunger, not, oh, food sounds good. Because when you're cutting, food is always going to sound good. You could always eat at any moment, and that's a given, right? But if you can put it off, I think you'll be better off. I try to put off food as long as possible, as you guys know. That way, when I'm actually hungry, I can have something to kind of satiate that. So I'm going to edit for a little bit, and then I'll meet you guys in the kitchen.
Don't treat me like Hollywood. I'm a grind, but don't Hollywood. I'm the kind to put a hole in one, but I don't play like I'm Tiger Woods.
It is almost 3 hours later. I got caught up in editing. It's probably the biggest tip I can give you. Just stay busy. If you're sitting around with nothing to do and thinking about food all the time, you're gonna crack. It's going to be almost impossible. And you should be being productive anyway, right? It doesn't matter if you're dieting, bulking, but that is definitely one of my biggest tips. The other thing I'm gonna recommend to you guys is make foods that you like. Make fun foods that you enjoy, and don't be afraid to get creative, right? Make new recipes if you want, but make sure that you're eating foods that are going to fill you up. I have not eaten a Pop-Tart in like 3 months, okay? And that kills me. But a Pop-Tart is the least satiating food on earth, probably, which is so sad now that I say it out loud. I miss Pop-Tarts. But anyway, find foods that are going to satisfy you, and that is why you see me eating oatmeal all the time, and I am going to make another oatmeal recipe. I'm sure you guys are very tired of that, but I love it, and I've got to try one more of Grant's recipes. So you've seen that I've made 2 on the channel so far. I failed both of them. 3rd time is a charm. Here's everything you're gonna need.
Spend the night, I'll spend it in. Long as you're who I spend it with. Make my money all independent, and your mind is money cause you independent.
We're gonna make a carrot cake oat recipe, and I'm gonna do something I've probably never done on the channel before, and that is follow a recipe verbatim. I'm determined to get this thing right, so I'm gonna do exactly what he sent over. The first thing he said to do was add 55 grams of oats, then we're gonna do 15 grams of plain flour or pancake mix. I have not had this stuff in so long.
Hit the U, maybe Belltown. Take a trip out and hit the sound. But there's one thing that you gotta know.
This is another good learning opportunity. What do you do if you're putting something in the blender and you go like 2 or 3 grams over and you're like, crap, how do you get it out of here? What do? Do you pour it all out and start all over? No. What you do is you realize it's not that serious and you move on. 25 grams of protein powder. I figured the snickerdoodle would go well with this.
You're way too pretty to sleep alone.
12 grams of cocoa powder. That is so exact.
Now, baby, we ain't going home alone.
100 milliliters of almond milk. 150 grams of shredded carrots. Sounds kind of weird, but I'm gonna trust it.
You're way too pretty to sleep alone. Now, baby, we
Then we have 75 milliliters of egg whites.
ain't going home alone.
A little bit of sweetener.
You're way too pretty to sleep alone. Now, baby, we ain't going home alone. You're way too pretty to sleep alone.
And then into the microwave for around 6 minutes.
Now, baby, we ain't going home alone.
Okay, so I can honestly say I did not mess it up this time by the looks, but the others I messed up the looks, but it still tasted great. So now I'm concerned, well, maybe it looks good, but doesn't taste as good. So let's find out.
Wake up to no makeup, you don't need that, girl, straight up. You a wild child, lighting wildfires. Hit the ground and you spin the tires.
Wow.
Go a million miles an hour. No, I ain't fighting the power. No, I ain't got the willpower. You got me hooked, I ain't sour. No telling where this will go. Before the time we'll act like we know. Summertime and the feeling's right.
So that makes up for any recipe that I have ever failed. That was the best protein cake that I have ever made. The consistency, the texture, it was just, that was on point. I would recommend you guys try that one out. Appreciate it, Grant. Definitely check out his Instagram for more great recipes. And I guess before I leave you, the next tip I'll give you is just go out and do stuff, you know? Just go out and live a little bit, and then you don't think about food, and when you come back, you get to enjoy it. So I know that there's some people against artificial sweeteners, and if you are, that's your prerogative. I'm not going to try to convince you otherwise, but I don't think that there's anything wrong with them in moderation like anything else. And there's some days I never would have made it through unrestricted calories if I didn't have either like a carbonated drink like this. Carbonation is the key. It fills up your stomach and it also tastes really good. So sometimes I'll have one of these waters. Sometimes I'll go for a Monster. Now, I try not to. I mean, Monsters are so good. There's no doubt about that. But I don't know that I should be drinking energy drinks every day when I drink the amount of coffee that I do. So maybe from time to time I'll have like a diet soda. But I love these things just because they're so cheap. They're so good. So if you're not already utilizing this as a tool to kind of curb your hunger, I would highly suggest you do so.
Can't describe how I feel tonight. All that matters, I'm loving life. Missed the view from this kind of height. Do you good cause you do me right. Just hold me down and I'll hold you tight.
Now, as I'm sure you guys have seen, cauliflower has really become one of my best friends. I've been using this stuff for everything. Just the amount of volume that you get, the versatility of it. You can do so many different things with it. So I'm going to make some more cauliflower rice, and I'm sure that there's a great recipe online for this, but all I did was blended it up. I'm going to throw it in a skillet, and I'll probably season it maybe with some adobo and some pepper, something like that. Nothing fancy at all. And then I'll just add some ground chicken that I've already cooked to that. And what I'm going to make is stuffed peppers. Now, I don't feel like looking up a recipe for this, so I'm literally just going to take what's in the skillet, maybe add some hot sauce or some salsa in there, and put it in the peppers and throw it in the oven. I'm sure that there are better ways to make this, and if you guys know of better ways, please let me know in the comments below. Every time I make stuffed peppers, I end up messing them up, so that's why I'm not even looking up a recipe. But just stuff like this, guys, I mean, you don't have to, it's not a perfect science, you know? You can just make whatever fits in your macros. That's why I hate recipes, because I don't know my macros, I don't know my life. I do what works for me, and sometimes it works.
Summertime, and it's feeling right. But there's one thing that you should know.
So the inside is definitely delicious, but what I don't know, I never know how you're supposed to eat the pepper. I mean,
Oh, way too pretty to sleep alone. Now, baby, we ain't going home alone. You're way too pretty to sleep alone.
so I have to say I've only tried to make traditional stuffed peppers a handful of times, but this is the best that I have ever done. And I'm proud of myself for thinking of putting the cauliflower rice in there. I didn't even steal this recipe from anybody. Can you believe that?
Now, baby, we ain't going home alone. You're way too pretty to sleep alone.
You know this song is about you, right? You are really too pretty to sleep alone. I'm talking to you.
Now, baby, we ain't going home alone. You're way too pretty to sleep alone. Now, baby, we ain't going home alone.
This is a much more poverty-style protein brownie, but it is still so delicious. I've been ending almost every single night with this. Pretty sure I stole this from Valentina. This kind of moves into my last point. Probably not my last point, but the next point, which is if you really want to make progress, you have to use Travis to save 30% at pescience.com. You guys knew it was coming.
You're way too pretty to sleep alone.
You guys knew this was coming. Halo Top ice cream, maybe the best thing ever invented. Don't even think about Arctic Zero. This stuff is so good. So I guess that'll be kind of like my last tip, is treat yourself every once in a while. Now this stuff is expensive, it's hard to find, but it is amazing. I've yet to find one person that does not love this stuff. So if you can find it, definitely encourage you to pick it up. I treat myself to this maybe at least once a week, maybe twice a week. But I'm telling you, it is so so good. It's always so sad once it's over. You guys don't even realize how much I love this stuff. If I could have two things for free for the rest of my life, I think it would be Halo Top and Audible.com credits. That'd be just fantastic. But anyway, that's gonna do it. As you can see, macros are getting pretty low here for me, relative of course. And I realize that losing weight is challenging for a lot of people. A lot of people struggle with it. It's one of those things that's simple, but it's not easy. I mean, we all know how to do it. We get in a caloric deficit, we lose weight, which is true. But hopefully some of these tactics I'm utilizing in the video will help you guys out. And that's how kind of I've stayed on track, and I've been able to manage it, even though calories are getting low, but kind of doing some of these things has made it a little bit easier. So that's gonna do it, guys. Please let me know if this helps you, and also give this video a like if you enjoyed it. That thumbs up button helps me out so much. And also, even though I already told you in the beginning of the video, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch. You guys could have been doing anything, and you chose to spend a few minutes with me. That really is awesome. I look forward to talking to you guys next time.